Hi everybody, this is Cindy over at paper.old.new. As you can see, I have my collage book back out. We've done some pages, so we're moving along. I will tell you, random paper towels, I did go through, after I filmed my last, time for doing the collage book, I did go through my scraps, kind of like sitting in front of the TV and doing groupings. So like you know how I am. I've been telling you I'm an assembly line kind of a person. So I went through and I found scraps that I thought would make neat, that would go together. Okay, that I thought would look cool together. And I clipped them together so that I could just grab a pile and start tearing it up and putting it on the page, or not tearing it up and just using it as blocks, because that also works, depending. Okay, so I thought that this might make it a little quicker to go through, and I'm not digging around in the scrap pile while you're watching. As you can see, this was supposed to be a pocket, but I was off center, so I didn't use it. I think we'll tear the bottom off. So, I'm really having fun. This is more of that stash building that I've been talking about. I just really want to be able to, and I know that the idea of these scrapbooks is to make a whole bunch of collage boards and tear them out of the book as you need them so that they have a place to be. But I think my next step, I think I'm going to cut them up as I go, only because I think it will be one of those things where I take them and use them in like mass making videos. So like I get the cards taken apart and then I, excuse me, take them and make a bunch of journal cards out of them, or I make a bunch of pockets out of them or something like that, so that I already have the collage masterboards turned into stuff. So that's kind of my goal here, is to go from this book once it's done. And like I said, as we go, we'll glue a couple pages and then we'll go back to the front where they've dried and cut a couple pages. So that I get and these scraps, if like say I don't use all of what I put in a little pile, it'll go into, I have a little baggie here of scraps, littler scraps, as I tear them down to small things, and I figured I would put them in there and then I'll mass make some clusters. I mean, who knows? So so that's the idea behind this, is to kind of make these collage boards and cut them up. And I always say my favorite part is taking the page out, flipping it over, and cutting it up. And I will say that you kind of have to have an idea of what size you want everything to be, so that when you do cut it up, you've got, you know where you're going with it. These ones, I don't want to say they make it hard, but these ones are a little difficult in the fact that I'm actually going to leave this whole. I'm not going to tear it. I'm going to leave it square. I mean, a lot of times I don't like the straight edges, but then there are times when I'm like, you know, it looks really cool just to get a bunch of square pieces of scrapbook paper and glue them down as a collage. I mean, we make, I've seen digitals that are overlapping square papers and stuff. So, all right, let's do the shoes. Technically, they're flip-flops. So I guess this is going to be a very summer looking page. I mean, just considering the style of shoe. Maybe we'll put that right there. Or should I do some other color right there? It's all orange. I don't know how I would Maybe that. Yeah, let's do that. And we'll do those ones somewhere else. And flip-flops aren't really a directional thing. I mean, they can be pointing up or down or... I mean, like up the page, down the page, across the page. It doesn't really matter. So I can't really see, like, these are pointing down. And now if I put these on the other side, they're going to be pointing down as well. I can't decide if this... I mean, color-wise I like it, but I can't decide if style-wise I like it. Let's put some of this blue on here. Ooh. Whoa, that tears wide. Oh, there's pink on the other side. I didn't realize this was double-sided, guys. I also don't want... Let's see if we can't... Yeah, there we go. So are people working on... What are we working on? I always like to know what people are working on. Before I go to bed at night, I turn on... You know what my problem is? I end up not commenting on a lot of videos that I watch, but I am out there watching videos. And my issue is, it's not that I'm not watching, it's that I'm watching... Our TVs are Roku. So we stream TV, right? And when you're streaming YouTube, I stream on my TV. And when you're streaming YouTube, you can't... That's weird. That sits up off the paper. You can't comment. I can't do comments when I'm streaming on TV. So like I'll watch lots of videos and then I don't end up putting any comments on them because I watched them on TV and then I forget. Like I always tell myself, I watched that video. Now what I need to do is sign on, find the video and make a comment. Whatever comment I would have made while I was sitting there watching. And I always forget to do that. Let's tear that one off. It doesn't need to be there. I mean, I forget every time. So like I'll go in and then I'll be sitting at my computer and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to flip on YouTube and I watch a video or two on my computer and those are the ones that I make comments on. And it's not that I don't like the ones that I watched on TV. It's just that I watched them on TV. Ugh. I really do wish the TV interface had a way for you to comment because I watch tons of videos on my TV. All right. We're doing it again. I'm doing the outsides and not the middles. Let's get some more of this blue on here. Maybe a piece down here. But yeah, I like to go on and see what everybody's up to. Like what you're working on, what's, you know. Like I've been noticing there are people out there working on like seasonal stuff, Christmas, lots of Christmas stuff going on. I don't know when you're going to see this video. I don't know why. I told myself when I I was going to start, when I'm filming, I was going to stop referring to things that would date the video. Because I'm filming this, it's just after Thanksgiving when I'm filming this. So, we'll see when you actually get to see it. I don't know. I'm kind of not sure if I want to put anything else. Well, I guess I could put some more flip-flop stuff on here. I don't want to go... I don't want to go overboard, but then again, I don't want to, like, not do enough. But in the same token, if they're sparsely covered, oops, I suppose when I cut them up, it's going to look really funny because I'm sure I'm going to cut straight through some of these flip-flops. So as much as they are being torn up and they're partial feet, like that one's partial feet already because it's the edge of the page. But as much as they are partial feet, they're going to be really partial feet by the time I'm done making this. But it'll be fun as a background for you know, some summer stuff. I don't know. Stick a sandcastle on it. I will say this, when I'm done filming this video, I'm going to do, I have planned on my day today to sit and do a craft along video, like a turn on a video and craft along with it. You know what a craft along, I don't know why I'm explaining that to you. But yeah, so I was going to turn on a video and do some crafts, and what I want to work on is clusters, which is the other reason I figured I'd turn my camera on and do some more in the scrapbook, the collage scrapbook, because I need some scraps. I want lots of scraps to work with when I do this. I don't know if I should take the green off of there or not. I mean, who knows what's going to happen to it, but... Is that a straight edge? That is a straight edge. Maybe I'll do that. I don't know. Guys. But yeah, I was sitting going through all my scraps, and I had my scrap, I mean, they were spread all over my coffee table, and all over my sofa next to me, and I was sitting in the living room watching TV and sorting through my scrap box, which is down here at my feet and less full than it used to be, which is nice. I mean, it's always good to be able to say I've done something with some of my scraps. So yeah, I went through and I made these piles, and some of them were really easy to put together, and then others of them I was like, what do I want to put with this? I don't know what goes with this. And sometimes it meant, you know, I said, you know what, we're just not going to use it. I feel like that needs something up in that corner, so we're just going to go with this. This little piece that I put in with these that I've decided doesn't really go, I will set aside and possibly use in another pile. And like I said before, I don't necessarily ink the scraps unless I'm going for a specific look on the page. I think it's funny that this is the only square piece in there. Maybe I should put it in there just so I have another square piece. I don't necessarily ink, because these are all background, so I don't necessarily want to ink them. All right, that's another one done, guys. Moving right along. Let's see what else we've got. I really, really like a couple of these groups. Oh, I want to do this one. Look at this. This has lots of stuff in it. So I have these cutoffs from some scrapbook paper that's got butterflies on it. So I want to use these. I'm probably not going to use them like as base. They'll go on top so you can see the butterflies, maybe, depending. This wood scrap, that could get used. Some of these scraps, I mean, I do have to go through the point where I say, you know what, that's just too small. We're not using that. And then this I can still get strips off of for clusters. So sorting as I go. I'm trying to keep my workspace somewhat tidy so that I have room to move. It's easier for me to tear this way. See? All right, these are, we'll see. So I have these two kind of torn. I'll tear that one when I'm ready to use it. So we'll set those aside. Let's get some of these background papers out. I've got this. This feels almost like a handmade paper. So let's put some of this down. I really liked this grouping of papers. But the inking thing, this is supposed to be the background, so I don't necessarily, I want to be able to ink whatever I glue on top to make it pop off. So unless I'm going for some sort of look that requires the background inked, I try not to use necessarily ink on the collage part. That's just the way I do it. I mean, obviously, you know, it's not the end-all be-all rule. I don't feel like there's any rules in crafting. You just do what you like, and the rest of it kind of works itself out, right? But as promised, I'm going to go we're going to do a couple of these so that I've got some drying for next time. And we'll cut one or two, depending on how much time. We'll cut one or two and see what kind of cards we get. Because, I mean, we're going to have all this fun. We might as well do the part that's like the most fun. Oh, well, that's my opinion anyway. I suppose everybody has differing opinions. Does anybody else make these collage books? I just feel like it's I don't know, it's quick scrap busting, I feel like. I mean, collage is always a good scrap buster. All right, let's set that aside. That was an 8.5 by 11 piece of scrapbook paper, so it didn't really get used up all that much. I think I want to go... Okay, let's tear this off like this. And then I want to go like that, maybe. Yeah. The book page doesn't go all the way up to the top there, so there's like a blue edge, which if I don't cover it, it's going to end up getting cut off anyway, so I figured I would put something up there. I also have not been, I remember mentioning in one of these books that I used for this collage, because it's the pages I tore out of all the books I'm doing the altered books with, the altered book assembly line that you guys have seen me put up, where I'm just like prepping altered books ready for design ideas. All those pages, well, they're modern books, so, and I haven't been paying attention, but nothing has popped off. But these book pages here that look like they're from a novel are from modern books. And of course, the thing I'm, watching for is exposed inappropriate language, because of course we don't want any of that. Although I do put my videos down as not being for kids, because I feel like that's one of the reasons I do that. I mean, not that I'm saying that there will be inappropriate language, but the possibility that there might be is there. I don't know. I try, if I see it, if I spot it, I either cover it up or glue the page down so that that's not showing. But I mean, it's a ton of book page. And I feel like for some of these more modern books, I may end up using more and more of them as glue. You know how you set the thing to the side to use glue sticks and stuff on? I may end up using more and more of them like that, just because I don't want them to end up in a book anywhere. So I think we'll do another small piece, like right here. It's funny, I go through and I cover these pages with all this book page. What I should be doing is going to the back of this book, because I have pages in the back here that I didn't get to. They don't have as much book page on them. And for the piles where I have lots of paper, I should be going back there and using those pages, and I might. I didn't do it with this one, but I mean, I could have. This is all stuff I can use in small clusters. This could be used in a cluster. I probably won't use it anywhere else, so I might as well stick it in there. All right, and then we have this. This has some decal cut edges on it, which I might keep. just don't know if I want to keep a corner. But yeah, some of these piles where I got, like, I have lots of paper. Like the little pack that we did first with the flip-flop paper in it, I didn't have a lot in that pack. That was just some, you know, scraps that I kind of threw together and hoped I could make a collage out of it. But I do have some, like this one actually, is got a lot of paper in it. And I feel like some of those would be really good for those pages in the back that I felt like I needed to glue more book page down to, but maybe I don't. Maybe I just go through with one of these big thick collage packs that I made and okay. I like the fact that you have a little bit of wiggle room with the Fabri-Tac. All right, should we put some more of this on here? I'm kind of working in the rule of threes, but the pages I'm working with also aren't that big, so sometimes I don't have enough space to do a rule of threes. Look, the back of that's even green. I don't know what was on the back of this. Cowboys. This is all, these pieces are from, or some of these pieces anyway, are from a scrapbook pad that I used in my boys' scrapbooks. All right, we're going to get that out of the way. I'll put it over there. Now I wanted to bring some of this orange in. I kind of like these postage stamps. I don't know if I want to... Let's do this instead. I think I'm going to tear a piece off of here. I ended up making it white anyway. Look, even when I try to do it correctly, I can't. And I think I'm going to put it right down the side here. Excuse me. Like I said, it's right after Thanksgiving. Anybody had any colds go through their house? Seasonal. I feel like it's that time of year where, depending on the climate you live in, you're getting seasonal colds. I always used to call them change of season colds, because I felt like, you know, when summer was transitioning into fall and you were kind of having those back and forth temperatures, you know, used to get them every year. Just kind of a... I know I'm doing that down off camera, sorry. Down here off. I don't necessarily want to border the whole page with this. This might only get 2 pieces just by the nature of the fact that I don't have a lot of it. All right, and then we're going to put our butterfly pieces on. I think I'll leave the stamps off. As a matter of fact, I think I'm going to set them aside to cut those stamps out of to use as... I was debating, you know, like tearing into them and using them on here. Because, I mean, I think the paper goes. I don't know. I don't want to make it too... See if I can find any place to use any of this. And then if I do, I'll throw a couple pieces on, but just like little accent pieces. Some of these collages definitely get more paper than others. So anyway, yeah, we've had some change of season colds go through the house. You know, some of my older kids have been off work, and at the time of filming this, my one school-age daughter has not gone back from, she's still on Thanksgiving break. This is, so luckily she's resting today, recovering, and she hopefully will be okay to go back to school tomorrow when they go back. All right, I think we're going to limit it to that. I'm going to stick this in the scrap box, and we're going to get our butterflies on here. I really want to put the butterflies on. So we're going to put one here, one here. I know these butterflies more than likely are going to get all cut up on the, when I cut up the board, but I've been looking for a place to use this paper, these paper scraps. I just like this paper, and I thought this was a good place to do it. So put one down here. Hopefully, if I do end up cutting up butterflies, they'll like cut in half or something like that, and it won't be too odd looking. I might take, that's torn. Hold on just a second, guys. Sorry about that. I got a battery alarm on my computer. So, like, I've told you guys before, I don't film with a phone. I film with my computer and a webcam. So I was getting an alert that said my computer was not plugged in and that my battery was low. So, yeah. Which is weird because I thought I had it plugged in, but apparently because I use my laptop and I move my laptop around. So when I bring it back down here to film, since I don't know how long I'm going to be filming, I have a tendency to, it gets plugged in and unplugged and all that. And so sometimes I guess I didn't hook it up. Yeah, whatever. The randomness we talk about when we're crafting, because it's okay. I wanted this to be on this side. I don't know that I want it to be, well, I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter because once I cut it up, I can always turn the card the other way, right? And I got this piece down here, which may end up with no butterflies on it. I'm out of the butterfly paper. I suppose I could tear this and make more than one out of it. Like take this and go. There's one butterfly down there and two up here in this corner. I was going to put this, actually, you know what? I'm going to make it a straight line. We'll see how that ends up. Okay, that's another one done. So we got two done, and I think now we will, well, let me clean up my scraps. Actually, you know what? This is what I'll do. I'm going to pause you I'm going to clean up, and then we'll be back to cut up a board. Okay, let's see if we can do one more quick. I got this stack. This is one of the stacks that I said has more paper in it. And this is one of those boards that doesn't have a lot of stuff. And I think I want to glue some of these down in the strips that they're in, so it'll be somewhat quick. So like this strip is just going to go down as a strip. But I have more paper to work with. So I thought maybe we could do one of these ones in the back where it looks like I need more book page. Maybe I don't. Maybe this one will get done by using up this pile of scraps. Okay, and then maybe we'll put this one across the top up here. What do you think? Or maybe just down the middle. I don't know if I want to go down again. It's funny because I'm looking, of course, at the card as a whole and saying, you know, I don't like that. But then I have to remind myself that these are getting pulled out of here and cut up. So remember that this piece and this piece, if I put it up here, will definitely not be on the same card, whatever. I mean, they will definitely be on two different cards. So, all right. And then I think we'll put this one here. Now, some of it will have torn edges because I am going to tear some of it, some of the bigger pieces. But I figured some of these thinner strips, rather than trying to make torn pieces out of them, I would just glue them down. I kind of like these like muted green, and it's almost like earth tones. They're like muted green and gray and blues. So, all right, now with this one, it's a little thicker, so maybe we'll do a strip up the side. I still am kind of working with strips just because it's, well, first of all, it's covering up a lot of space, but it's kind of where we started. Now, once I get all these strips down that I want down as long pieces, we'll come back and glue some kind of cluster larger pieces over top. And I'm trying to do this one kind of fast because, well, I mean, I just don't want it to. I kind of like that overlapping. I just don't know what's going to end up happening here. Well, let's wait and see, I suppose. Maybe it'll just get crossed with another strip. Or maybe that whole top part will get covered except for the part that's up against the blue. Who knows? The beauty of collage, right? Okay, we're going to do the same thing with this one. We're going to tear it down the middle. Ooh, it's getting a lot of white on that one side. Tear it down the middle and... I might do a piece that goes all the way across the page up here. Sorry, I know sometimes I go totally silent. Sorry about that. I don't know. I just, sometimes I feel like I'm not really sure what I should talk about, or if I should mention videos that I'm working on, because by the time you see this one, who knows what I will be working on or have already worked on or whatever. We'll put a piece right there. Be nice if that covered that though. wonder if I could, none of them are wide enough. So I guess we'll put it here and then we'll put it there and then put something going through the bottom. Of course, I don't have to use up all of this stuff that I pulled, like this set of paper that I pulled together. I, of course, am not expecting to use all of it on a single page. Like this piece, I think we're going to be done. And I'm going to put it, wait. I say that and then I'm like, wait a minute. It might look kind of cool right about... No, it's too close to that piece. What about this? No. It would have to be low. Eh. All right, we're gonna put this in here. I'm not liking it. Okay. You know what though? Nope, wrong color green. Okay. Okay, so I have some more of these shapes. And now we're going to do cluster size pieces. So I don't necessarily mind straight edges because I've already got straight edges working on this one. So maybe I kind of liked it better this way. Yeah, I like it better that way, even though it's two straights overlapping. Okay, so now we've done strips, and like I said, now I'm going to do these bigger pieces and see what we get. And again, I'm trying to get all the page covered up, because remember I said this one used less book page, so we have to cover it up with scrapbook paper. Maybe we'll do this little circle right here up in this corner right here. I think. Yeah, I like that. See this, but there's sections of these cards that get really thick. I mean, it's not a huge deal, but there's definitely like a lot of layers going on. Oops. And you can't, like, they stick out from each other, so I don't even know if that's on the same page. I'm like trying to glue to the edge of the next page down. Okay. Now, do I want more of these, or do I want... Because of where those are positioned, the only place I would really want to put one would be right there. And I wouldn't want it to be big. Okay, so let's tear this off of here. How about like that? All right. Last piece of the circle paper, and then we're going to go to the scissors, and then we're going to be done. Then I am going to pause you. I will clean up, and we will cut at least one board from the front that has been drying for days. Okay, so we'll set those aside, and oh, I have this too. This is just some neutral. I felt like with some of these pages, I added them because they, like on this one, the hatch pattern, it's different than the rest of the patterns on here, but the colors go. So it kind of added a different texture. Okay, if I'm adding any of this, it's going to be not edges. So, actually, let's go down here with it. I feel like when I'm filming, my videos get up to be pretty long, and then I try my best to cut out useless snippets, or like when I edit, I'll skip a section and like a section that I filmed, and then I'll say, you know what, I don't really need that in there, and I'll cut it out, and then you guys will get like a weird page turn from my editing software. That's because I cut out a chunk in there and it looked really weird the way it skipped from one section that I cut to the next. So if you see those little page turns, those are obviously those are edits. But yeah, so that's all of that. Now the scissors is really, this is a bow bunny pack that I've seen several people with. I don't think any of this is going to go on an edge, so I'm going to tear this edge off. And then I'm going to tear out some chunks. I might need one that has, ooh, that's too much white. Okay, let's just make one that doesn't have so much white, because that's going to go right there. So we'll start with that one. Basically because I have a blank piece of workbook page down there. I keep looking at this strip thinking it's something I need to cover up, and then realizing, oh wait, that's scrapbook paper. So yeah. Although I will say, like, I suppose that if you, like, there's a piece right here that's white workbook paper from the workbook that I'm covering. I suppose, like, if you left a piece blank that had the workbook, like you didn't cover a piece of it, when you cut it into journaling cards or whatever, you could cover it then. I mean, it doesn't have to be covered when you're collaging. I suppose you could argue that it would be easier to cover it when you're collaging, but that's... That's kind of a maybe. Like right now, I'm having trouble with this piece right here. I think, yeah, it's going to have to be long and skinny like that. I really like this bow bunny pad. If I go anywhere and I find it again, I might order it again. Or if I find it on Amazon or something like that, I'm going to have to, I have it somewhere around here so I can look at the cover and see what it was called. But I really like this pad, and I might get myself another one. Okay, let's put some right here. Yeah. And then, of course, like, the pieces that I don't use, like I said, are going into that little baggie to make clusters out of. So when I'm cutting up these cards, you know, who knows, to tie in, maybe a background piece of a cluster made from this paper will end up on top of the card or the cards, or, you know, whatever. I don't want it that big. Let's see. I also don't want all this white. Look at that. That is a ton. Okay. It could just be a little piece. Maybe right. Maybe like that. Told you that green was going to get covered up. At least partially. All right, last piece, guys. Okay, now this one ended up being more scrapbook paper than book page, but I like the way it turned out. I'm liking the colors, the different shapes and patterns going together. I like this one a lot. So, all right, like I said, let me pause you and I'll be right back. Okay, guys. You just probably saw one of those little page turns I was talking about. These are the boards I've torn out of the thing. So this is what they look like. Let's flip them over. How much time we got? See, I'm pushing up an hour again. I don't know that the video finally, when I get it done, will be an hour, but right now it's an hour. Which one is this? Okay, I might make some smaller things out of this one. So what if I did 3, 3? But how wide? Okay, if I made these 3, this is 8, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's not 8. So let's cut that at the 4 1/4 mark. We're going to go this way and cut this at 4 1/4. 1, 2, 3, 4 1/4. No, you know what? We're going to go 4 1/2. 4 1/2. Okay. Oh, I got to take the guard down or it won't cut. All right. Now no turning it over until we're ready. All right, now these, I want to make tags out of these, I think. So I think I might go 2 1/2 here. I like the long, narrow tags, right? So 2 1/2. Two and a half. Two and a half, and whatever that is. That's 3 1/4. All right, so we got those. And then for this one, I don't know that I'm going to cut. I might cut this one like, it's 3 1/4, so we may go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we'll have a 5 and we'll have 2 long. That's the one thing about these too. You're not getting a lot out of these because the pages aren't that big. So like with this one, I think I'm going to make journaling cards out of it. So I'm going to go with this one. We're going to go, what did we say this was? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 3/4. So we're going to go 5 1/2. I'll have a 5 1/2 and a 5 3/4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 1/2. Despite my best efforts, I have glue on my cutting mat. Okay. All right, and then what's a good length for what's a good length for that is 5 1/2, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 1/2. Yeah, 5 1/2. So how about 3 1/2? 3 1/2 by 5 1/2? That'll make a good card, right? So we got 2 cards. This one's probably going to end up being trimmed because that's the, I don't know if it'll get trimmed down to 3 1/2, but it'll get trimmed. All right, and then for this one, maybe we'll get some tags out of this one. So 1, 2, 2 1/2. And I said this was what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 1/4. So 1, 2, 3. We'll go 3. And then I got a 3 and a 2. Okay, guys. Let's see what we got. All right, this is the first one we did, so let's flip these over. And as usual, lovely. I love having these backgrounds to use. These are going to be a ton of fun. I'm so excited. And there isn't one so far that I dislike. Now they're gonna need trimming, but I'm not gonna do that on camera. I'm excited, guys. This is, I keep saying it, this is like the most fun I have when I make these. I love cutting them up and flipping them over. Okay, what do we got? Look, I got my camera. So we'll have to see how we trim that. These are a little grungier, right? There's a nice big card. I like the way this says adapt. So whenever I cover, whatever I do with this, I might try and keep that. It's dictionary. It's dictionary thesaurus page. So yeah. All right, guys. Some more cards. Loving this. Okay, so that was another episode of our collage masterboard book. Hopefully we'll be back for another set. I keep these set to the side and I'll turn my camera on. I'll turn my camera on when I do the next one and we'll see how they go. I can't wait to just have a whole pile of these to just start decorating. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.